And good afternoon, everyone, or I guess good morning if you're out a little bit west. I know our presenters today are probably out in the central time zone, so still morning to you guys. Thanks for joining us. We are in our final ATS University for the year. Thank you to a number of the attendees that I have seen repeatedly swing by for these training sessions. If this is your first time, we've been running ATS University webinars 2 to 3 times a month for most of the last few years. We have a stockpile of recorded webinar sessions, as this will be one, and I'll show you how you can take a look at those at the end of the presentation. We jump into kind of showing you how to find the products. If you're unfamiliar with ATS, we are essentially you could consider us a house of brands. We're not a plumbing rep per se. We really are just a product selection tool that allows you to configure the products that we're going to be discussing today, select all your options, get an updated and accurate product selection in any one of our 10 different output formats. We've got multiple versions of written specs. If you are looking for a configured and customized written spec to exactly what you select, that is the primary purpose of ATS. But we also provide all the Revit files. We provide configured PDF solutions and submittals and manufacturer cut sheets. We have fixture schedules in Excel, among other formats. Mainly, we are doing the best we can to try to make product selection as accurate and confident by the engineer as possible. And all of that's paid for by our lovely partners like the GWBD boys who, they have the Stern Williams product. We did a great presentation on like the outdoor drinking fountains earlier in the year. And we've also covered all the mop sinks and some of the new products that we're going to talk today from FIAT, who's another one of the brands. FIAT, you may be familiar with them from, shower floors back in the day. Or maybe you're more familiar with like that one mop sink, the MSB 2424. But there's a ton of new product, a lot of great product that's kind of specialty application, which I think we'll cover today. We've already done an intro on the pet wash station, so I'm not sure if you're going to include that again, or if we're going to talk primarily shower floors, but we're excited to find out. As with all of our ATS University sessions, we'll be sending out a certificate of attendance at the end of the session. I should do like a final tally to see how many hours of certificate credits we've sent out to all the engineers on the years. It's got to be thousands at this point. But we appreciate you spending all the time with us. Thank you for being long-standing partners of ATS or new supporters of ATS. And thank you to our manufacturer partners for continuing to educate us. I guess with all further ado, I'll pass it over to you, Richard. Thanks for joining us today.
Zach, thank you very much. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes.
Well, and as you stated, this is the last presentation of the year, so hopefully you've saved the best for last, but we'll let everyone decide on that at the end. But again, thank you. And again, my name is Richard Clace. I'm the National Sales Manager for FIAT Products. And as Zach alluded to, we are now part of a family of plumbing companies, including Stern Williams and Prior Products. What I want to cover today is FIAT in general. FIAT's had many changes in ownership and sales programs, but really the product itself has not changed too much. We've added a few new things, as Zach alluded to, with the pet wash station. And yes, we will cover that for a little bit because as we're finding out, that's becoming more and more of a spec item than it is a residential item. So just want to reemphasize that. But again, we want to go over the whole product category and the features, and we'll go over codes and how they apply to the marketplace. But again, just a real refresher on the FIAT line. FIAT itself, believe it or not, has been in business since 1919. We've had plants all over the country and in Canada. In fact, at one point we had plants in Winnipeg and Arilla, Ontario, and 4 other plants in the U.S. But right now, everything is coming out of Somerset, Kentucky. Again, FIAT's been in business since 1919. We've made our molded stone product and our terrazzo, and again, being under different ownership, but now being under the auspices of GWBD, we see tremendous potential for the company and growth as time goes on. The product categories have pretty much remained the same. We make shower floors in what we call molded stone, in terrazzo and in fiberglass. We have a full lineup of laundry tubs that may have more of a residential application, but we're seeing more of a commercial application as well. The dog wash station and our mop basins, also made in molded stone and terrazzo. And you'll hear over the time we call our shower floors or mop basins molded stone, but really it's an SMC material. And why is SMC called molded stone? Well, really it's a play on words. FIAT came out with a new resin-filled product in the late 70s, early 80s to take the place of terrazzo. So really it's just a play on words. But what it is it's SMC material, sheet molding compound. And sheet molding compound is basically calcium-based resins that are wetted together and then combined with long strands of fiberglass. FIAT has been making and using SMC material since the early 90s on all of our product. FIAT used to use BMC material. BMC is called batch molding compound, and that was more of a nylon-filled product with the resins. By going to the fiberglass, we were able to make a lighter product using less material, but by using the fiberglass strands, it's created a much stronger material. In fact, when we converted from BMC to SMC, our defect rate went from 7% to 0.5%. So it was a tremendous improvement in the product category when we went to the SMC. The SMC material is used in different practices. It's used by the automotive industry. Some of the non-metal parts on a car are actually SMC material. They're used in frames for tanks. The turrets of the tanks use SMC frames before they put the metal finishes on top. And for those of you who played a lot of basketball outside, those Huffy backboards are all made of SMC material. So there's a lot of use for that material. And again, just to give you an idea of what the product looks like, the picture on the left is batch material. Basically, they use a pitchfork to put it into the molds, where on the right, it's our sheet molding compound. Lighter, thinner, less material is used. And just for what it's worth, FIAT owns all of our molds, and we use a company that specializes in SMC material to do the actual molding itself. And then all the product is inspected, assembled, and packed at our plant in Somerset, Kentucky. Zach, I don't know if any questions are going to come up, but if you want to read them off as they do, just let me know.
Yeah, of course. I'm keeping an eye on the Q&A tab that everyone can raise questions, and I'll bring them up as they come.
Great. Want to go into the shower floor business, the shower floor product line. Couple of the features of the FIAT shower floors. We have a 1-inch tiling flange used throughout the shower floors. All of our shower floors have an integral drain, which is actually molded into the floor itself. So it is all part of the floor. It actually diminishes the potential for any leaking that you used to have with drains that were field installed or swedged in at the plant. We've added extra ribbing to the bottom of the floors, and I'll go into that in a little bit. We have a drain lip that prevents any leaking of water at the threshold. The water is actually transferred into the finished floor itself, as opposed to going out onto the tile floor outside. And we also have a slip resistance that, in my opinion, is the best slip resistance in the industry. Our shower floors meet IATMO code, CSA, and for those of you in New England, we are all mass code approved as well. Basically, when it comes to the product category itself, these are the codes that we need to meet when we're used in its application. I talked about the actual ribbing of the floor itself. The picture on the left is an old BMC mold where we actually had a swedged-in drain along with a lighter ribbing. The increased ribbing we've put on the right was actually created for us by the structural engineering department at the University of Chicago. These are the same guys who created the atom bomb, so they know a little bit about strength, but it really has helped with our application. In fact, when you're using our WL shower floors, our SMC floors, you do not need to set it in a bed of mortar. It can actually sit on a finished floor or a subfloor. Some installers like to use felt paper, felt padding, maybe to decrease some of the rubbing that may be on there, but you do not need to set our floors in any type of mortar. The floors come in many sizes, and we can provide this to you later on, but anything from a 32 by 32 to a 60 by 34. And we are seeing more and more of these shower floors being used in hospitality application. More and more hotels are going to an SMC floor instead of using a traditional bathtub. So we are seeing an uptick in business at the hospitality end. We also offer these in double threshold and neo corner sizes. And that pretty much covers the SMC side, but FIAT also offers a gel coat ADA shower floor in 3 different sizes. They are a gel coat fiber with a fiberglass reinforcement. We do use a 2-inch plastic drain, or we can provide a cast brass drain. And these floors are set up where they will set up next to a finished floor. So you have a clear or a seamless transfer, wheelchair transfer from the finished floor to the shower floor. So FIAT does offer these 3 sizes in a gel coat. It is not SMC, but it is a fairly popular item in some lower end ADA applications. Just a quick view. Again, this is just a drawing that shows how it's installed. And again, it sits next to a finished floor, so you have a seamless transfer. So when you look at the FIAT shower floor lineup, we offer it in molded stone, fiberglass, and terrazzo. And we'll get into the terrazzo portion of it shortly. Leaving shower floors and going into laundry tubs, FIAT has a complete lineup of laundry tubs using 3 different materials, offering it in single bowl, double bowl, and a drop-in option. Again, we are seeing more and more of these being used. Multifamily, they're putting it in laundry rooms. We're seeing it in small commercial applications, garages, commercial garages, they're using laundry tubs. And I go as far back, and now I'm really dating myself. These were really big in things like photo labs. Of course, you don't see many photo labs these days, but these were big there, and we were always getting a question, can they hold up to different type of acids and materials? And yes, they can hold up to different types of acids and materials. And we actually have a full list of what they can hold up against. And you can check with your local rep or maybe ask through ATS, and we can provide that as well.
Maybe that university that you mentioned doing the help, maybe they've got like a history department where the photo lab is now.
Exactly. So FIAT offers a good, better, best when it comes to laundry tubs. This is our lower end poly tub. It is offered in a single ball, floor mounted only. It's what we call appliance depth. It's 20 by 24. And you'll hear us talk about appliance depth in many applications. All that means is it has the same depth as a traditional washer and dryer. So when you put that laundry tub next to the washer and dryer, you have a seamless line across. They come with white metal legs. And we use the term SAS every once in a while. That's an old FIAT term. It's called Serve a Sink. It was just an acronym we used to talk about our laundry tubs. So they were Serve a Sink laundry tubs. So we still use that acronym every so often. Our when you talk about good, better, best, this is our better. This is our structural foam, a heavier duty poly that's offered in both floor mounted and wall mounted units. Um, Again, white metal legs. All of our laundry tubs are semi-drilled underneath the soap ledge. That allows the plumber to offer either 4-inch or 8-inch center sets in some applications. So it's semi-punched underneath, and the plumber can just drill the hole for whatever application they need. Again, this unit is 20 by 24, and it is appliance depth as well. And this is our bread and butter unit, our FL1. Fiat's been selling this model for over 40 years. This is a little different. It's 23 by 21, and it actually comes with a separate drain and plug. But again, this was what we created 40 years ago. It is an SMC material. So our good is poly, our better is structural foam, and our best is SMC. We offer 2 different types of laundry tubs in SMC. This unit here, our FL1, which is also comes, like I said, with the metal legs. And all of our leg kits come with levelers, because we know that in not every application you're going to get a level floor. So we do have levelers, so it will even out the legs, so you don't get a wobbly laundry tub going forward. The other SMC floor we have, or laundry tub we have, is a 24 by 20. Again, it's offered in floor mounted and wall hung. This unit does come with an integral drain. It does have metal legs with the levelers and can be drilled for 4-inch or 8-inch center sets. So we literally, in our best category, offer 2 different sizes in the SMC material.
I'm sure this has come up for you guys, and maybe this is more in the mop sink section. But I'm curious, we've had a lot more requests lately for, the odd wall-mounted utility sink or mop sink. Would this best design be acceptable in the wall, like with the wall mount? It's very similar material, is it not?
Yes, this is the same material as our mop basins. The laundry tub itself in our better and best categories are offered in wall mounted. Basically, it's the same laundry tub, but it comes with different kits. It comes with a floor mounting kit or a wall kit. The wall kit includes the brackets and spacers, so it covers the gap between the laundry tub and the finished wall. So you have a clean finish from top to bottom on the laundry tub between the tub and the wall itself. There's no gap in between. We offer our double laundry tub, same way. It's appliance depth. It can be offered in both floor mounted and wall hung. We also have a drain assembly, so it connects the both bowls within the laundry tub to each other. Obviously, it doesn't come with a separate connection to the P-trap, but the drain itself is included to connect both the bowls. Actually, just as a side note, Fiat does offer all their single laundry tubs in a what we call a to-go, which includes a faucet and a P-trap and connectors to the faucet. So if there's ever an application where you just want a laundry tub to go, we do offer that as well. And then we have 2 separate types of laundry tubs. We have a standard drop-in of 24 by 24 and what we call a hobby sink at 17 by 20. They are both offered in SMC material. We're seeing in some cases in multifamily where they do have a laundry room, there is there's a set of cabinets with a counter, and they put in the drop-in laundry tub in that counter area. And again, laundry tubs meet the standard IAPMO, CSA, and Mass Code approval codes. As Zach mentioned earlier, we have our Pooch and Boots scrub tub, our pet wash station, and I know we had a presentation on this before, but just a little side note, as I'm spending more and more time out in the field, I'm hearing more and more how specifications for multifamily are including these in the application. And in a lot of cases, what we see is in a standard engineering spec, we see WC1 for the toilet or L1 for the lav. At the bottom of the spec, it calls for a dog wash station, and the architect or the designer or whomever is literally leaving it up to the imagination of the installer to create one of these. So we took really the best of several of our companies to create this dog wash station. Just showing the picture here, the picture on the right is our current dog wash station, but I actually found this in our archives this is a picture from 1972 where FIAT was actually trying to promote our mop basins as a dog wash station. And yeah, I'm old, but that is not me in the picture.
That's fantastic. I love that.
And just to give everyone a quick overview, in the kit itself, we include the mop basin, the stainless steel wall guards, the leash hook. We use a prior C108 valve, so that's where we've got the luxury of including both our, including everyone in the family is putting this together. We have a stainless steel hose. We've got a sprayer that has 8 different spray configurations, a shampoo connector to the sprayer, and it also comes with a lint basket that fits under the drain to catch all the dog hair and schmutz that may come in come through during the cleaning. We offer this in 2 different sizes, 36 by 24 and 24 by 24. And we also offer it less valve because in some cases they want a different looking valve, maybe a pressure balance valve in matte black or a sprayer in polished nickel. That's not our game. We would leave it to you to find someone else to provide that. But I would say 90% of the application is going to be using our prior C108 valve. And again, just another picture showing a smaller unit. Mop basins. Mop basins are, from an engineering and commercial standpoint, is the real core product line for FIAT. FIAT's mop basins, we offer 2 different sizes with a stainless steel drain, and I'll get into that in a little bit. We offer 24 by 24 and 36 by 24. And again, the factory installed stainless steel drain is actually swedged in at the factory, so there's no installation concerns in the field. We also offer a unit with an integral drain. It's actually molded into the mop basin itself. There's no worry about installation. It does come with the gasket and the strainer plate. One of the things I wanted to cover here today is where's the best time and when's the best time to use either the mop basin with the integral drain or the mop basin with the stainless drain. FIAT came out with the integral drain about 20 years ago, and it's probably now 90% of our business. It's a lighter unit using the SMC, and it can be used for most commercial application. Where we still see the stainless steel drain is in some of the bigger cities. I lived in Chicago and worked in Chicago for 25 years. They still use lead and oakum in the city. So lead and oakum is pretty much what you want to use with a stainless steel drain. Yeah, I took someone through a wholesaler's warehouse and they saw a whole pallet of lead ingots and they're like, what's that? And I said, this is what they use. Some other cities, New York, Philadelphia, San Francisco, in some applications still use it, still would like to use the heavy drain or the stainless drain. So we offer both. And it all a matter of application, but 90% of our business has gone to the integral drain. And I thank you from the engineering community. I thank our reps for all the work they do, but FIAT mop basins are still and continue to be the most specified mop basin in North America. you keep it as part of the primary spec, and we thank you for everything you've done to make sure it's still part of that primary spec. One thing to keep in mind when you are doing specifications for mop basins, and this is something I harp on with our sales teams all the time, is make sure the accessories are all included. 99.9% of the time, the first three items in green you're going to see on a spec. A mop faucet, our 830 AA has been a constant in the marketplace for 40, 50 years. The 832 AA hose and bracket and the 889cc mop hanger, they are all critical parts of the specification. The wall guards, I would say maybe 75% of specifications call for wall guards, but I still, when I talk to our sales teams, make sure that they include it as making sure that it's part of the everyday spec. We also offer a lot of other accessories, but between the mop basin and these four items, these are parts of the primary specification to look at.
Now, this is where I'm going to have a question. It comes up a lot internally, actually. We're often asked to put together a product selection, and we may just have an application, either a school or, hospitality, anything like that, office, for the bumper guards. Where should you use a vinyl bumper guard versus stainless? What are the benefits? Is there a true differentiation? Doesn't need a bumper guard, or is that too much of an upsell?
It depends if you got a heavier application. If it's in a bumper guards are always good to add. They're not always necessary, but it does add added protection to the sides of the mop basin. Vinyl versus stainless steel, there really isn't much of a difference. I guess it has to be in the building itself. How heavy-handed are the people using that mop room? Are they just slamming buckets? In some cases now, a lot of companies are using plastic or composite mop buckets. So they're really not going to cause any damage to the side of the mop basin itself. It's really just added protection. Hopefully that answers the question, Zach.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
And again, our mop basins meet all the required codes: IATMO, ANSI, ASSME, CSA, and Mass Code. So, and this really needs to be updated. The slide needs to be updated. But when we look at our market emphasis, shower floors and laundry tubs are now really getting into the commercial end of the business, along with residential. Of course, mop basins are heavily into the commercial end. One thing I did hear, going back to the dog wash station, at the ASPE convention this year, a lot of engineers were talking about having it in their multifamily specs, but now a lot of engineers are doing pet stores or pet hospitals and what have you, and they're adding these pet wash stations to their specifications when building them. So there is a huge market that we are just tapping into when it comes to the dog wash station. Then there's terrazzo. Terrazzo is still and continues to be a very important part of our lineup. I mean, it's kind of funny. I've been in this business quite some time, and every year I keep hearing that somebody's saying, "Oh, terrazzo's a dying business," and every year our terrazzo business increases. There's still a lot of use in terrazzo. Where there may be a switch in emphasis is less in the shower floors, but definitely still heavily in the mop basin end of the business. Terrazzo, it's basically black and white marble chips with gray Portland cement that we use in our mop basins and white Portland cement for shower floors. It's poured, compression strength of 3,000 PSI, and it's cured for 7 days after casting. Every once in a while, we'll have a customer say we need to expedite an order after just a couple of days. We're like, no, we have to make sure that this product is cured, because if we deliver it any sooner, it's going to show up as pebbles. So we do hold hold fast to our curing of 7 days after casting. The surface is then ground and polished with air holes and pits grouted, and all excess cement is removed. Again, the terrazzo has a smooth surface of 70%, more of marble, and about 30% of Portland cement. Sealing, we recommend that our terrazzo product be sealed at the job site. There's some contentions as to whether the terrazzo should be sealed at the plant or should be sealed at the job site. We feel it should be done at the job site towards the end of the job, mainly because we see a lot of, if it's sealed prior to going to the job, you get a lot of contamination, a lot of construction dirt in that sealant. The sealant needs to be stripped and then resealed again. So we just ask, and we even have in our instructions, that you wait until the product is installed, you're towards the end of the job, and then you seal the product. Our terrazzo comes with integral galvanized steel tiling, or actually this needs to be changed. They all come now with stainless steel tiling flanges, and we have integral drains that are cast into the terrazzo, 3-inch on mop basins, 2-inch on shower floors. And again, they meet all appropriate codes. Don't need to get into this too much, where we do include installation instructions and we do talk about sealing. We also include how to clean and maintain all terrazzo. And again, we talk about the sealing. And then the terrazzo lineup. There are many, many different sizes of terrazzo. And just to give you some people say, why do you have so many different sizes of terrazzo versus not as many sizes in molded stone or SMC? An SMC mold can cost anywhere between $250,000 and $300,000. A terrazzo mold, considerably less, to the point where we can make a mold to make one floor for custom, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But as you can see here, we have many sizes in square. We have even more in rectangular sizes. We offer them in neo corner, double threshold, and we have a full lineup of ADA floors as well. We actually offer in 2 different types of ADA floors, one with the no threshold, similar to the FIAT or to the fiberglass unit I mentioned earlier, where it sits, butts up to the finished floor, so you get a seamless transfer from the finished floor to the shower floor. Also, we offer it with a ramp in all 3 sizes, and they all have a thinner shoulder with a 1-inch tiling flange. FIAT also offers what we call barrier-free with ramp that are non-ADA compliant. These are actually floors that FIAT had in the lineup before the ADA laws came into compliance back in, I think it was 1992 or 1993. We find that there are many jobs that don't have to comply with ADA. It could be a residential unit or apartment. In Chicago, for instance, they still use a lot of terrazzo in their high rises that don't need ADA compliance. So we do offer different wheelchair accessible or barrier-free with ramp. One thing to keep in mind when it comes to ADA floors, we get a lot of requests, can you put a shower door on it? Can you put some type of barrier on it? It's very difficult to do, especially on one that has a wheelchair ramp. So we always recommend, and we put this in our specifications and in our installation instructions, that you install a drain, a floor drain outside the shower floor, because water is, it's just the nature of the beast. Water is going to come out of that shower floor. So we recommend that a floor drain be installed outside the floor itself. And again, this is, we actually offer some units that have flanges on all 4 sides in case they want to put some panels on the threshold side. And then we also offer different types of units, wider shoulders. We offer them with drains in different locations. We also offer them with rabbets, RABBET, which are slots inside the wall so you can insert maybe a toilet partition type wall into that slot. So we do offer that as well. Our standard lineup on shower floors is black and white. We also can offer white on white chips and gray and white chips. And we can offer different types of drains. We have back outlet, side outlet. We can offer vandal-proof drains. If somebody's specifying a psychiatric hospital, we can provide vandal-proof drains for that application. So those are available as well. And as I stated, we can do custom orders. We can do custom sizes, drain location, shapes, rabbets, flanges, drain location. We can do all that. We provide a custom sheet to fill it. You would fill in all the dimensions, special colors, fill that in, send it to FIAT. FIAT will then work up a job quote, and then you put the package together. So we can do all types of custom as well. Full lineup of mop basins. And again, there's a whole lineup of mop basins. We've got Neo Corner with drop fronts. We've got Square with drop fronts. And all of these come with or without caps, stainless steel caps. You can order them with just a cap in the drop front in the threshold. We've got Neo Corner with 12-inch height shoulders all the way around with caps. A Neo Corner with a crescent front, 6-inch high curbs. And then our standard TSB 100, which is probably our #1 item, and the TSB 200, which is our #2 item. The only difference is the 100 has the caps. The 200 does not have the caps. We also offer different options, galvanized tiling flanges, stainless steel tiling flanges. We also offer field installable tiling flanges. This helps as far as lead times. Our warehouses may have one less the tiling flange, which is a custom unit, by the way, for mop basins. So the tiling flange can be installed in the field. We can offer different drains for the mop basins, again, vandal proof and drain location. And here's the custom sheet for mop basins as well. So when you look at our...
Just a quick question there on the customization, because this has come up a number of times where, you showed that shower with the drain kind of on the corner, similar to a scupper, where it's just like a quick 90 out, I would assume. I was wondering whether or not that's a possibility for these custom mop sinks as well.
The one in this picture here?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because that is the one that, quite often when we're looking for custom mop sinks, it's usually because they don't have the ability to have a core penetration for the drain straight below, so they want a 90 out. And I think that's something you guys have done as well, right? Like a quick 90 on the drain.
So you're talking about the drain bead coming out through the shoulder as opposed through the floor.
Yeah, like the
Yep.
back wall.
In all my years, I don't know if I've never had it done in my area, but I don't see why we can't do it. It probably have to be about a 2-inch drain. I'm not sure if the 3-inch pipe would fit through there, but that's something we would have to look at on a needed basis.
Perfect. Thank you.
And again, what also would hinder it would be the tiling flange, because the tiling flange itself is actually installed and integral to the floor, to the drain or the mop basin itself. Of course, now that I think about it, when you're looking at a 12-inch wall, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do it. But again, I'd have to talk to our engineers. It would be tough on a 6-inch, but on a 12-inch, it might be possible.
And then one of the other questions that always comes up, and I think you do show it on that custom spec sheet there, is whether or not there's any minimums of distance from the center line of the drain to the wall. Because that's always a question from engineers.
There's maybe one or maybe a 1 inch, but I've never had anyone get any closer than 2 or 3 inches. But if it butts right against there, may be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a 3-inch standard.
But again, we take each one on an as needed basis. I've never had one rejected because of the drain location. So, and again, maybe if it's that tight, you almost have to do something with the finished wall.
Great.
To move it in a little bit. So again, terrazzo shower floors, residential, mainly in the big cities. Again, living in Chicago, they're still using terrazzo shower floors in some high rises. Big in healthcare, universities, we're big in dormitories, and in some penal prison applications. And our mop basins, commercial and institutional. So that's the FIAT lineup. That's pretty much what's happening with FIAT. I'd like to open up to any questions that may have appeared.
And we'll pause for a second here. I've asked most of my questions as we go, so
I
I'm not sure if any
couldn't have been
additional
that
ones come
I
in.
couldn't have been that thorough.
We'll see. We'll give it a second here. We'll pause and see if any questions come in.
Yeah.
And just as we're getting prepared for any questions, I'll also get my screen. You can take your screen share off, and I'll prepare to show how they can find the products on the SpecTool.
Okay. Of course, now it's me. How do I do that? Now that I've got all this.
No worries. I got it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. All righty. Well, yeah, I haven't seen any additional questions come in. So let me just take a quick second. Feel free to pause and interrupt me if you see questions come in that we need to dive into. If this is your first time joining ATS, thank you again for giving us a chance. And if you've been an ATS supporter for a long time, like I saw a couple of the names, I'm happy to announce we've got some new features that launched just in the last quarter. And we've got more new features launching in Q1 2025. So it's an exciting time. Basically, you go to atsspec.com. It's free to log in and sign up. It's all paid for by our wonderful partners and manufacturers. And the idea is pretty simple. You can see it on the homepage here. You get tiles to search by categories. Then you configure and select your product, and you download it in any one of the outputs that matches your go-to-market strategy. Before you even log in, there's some information you can access from the Architects and Engineers tab. We've got our Learning Hub here, where on the knowledge base, you'll see our code breakdowns where we recommend products that fit in. We cover kind of certain topics like adult change tables and some of the code surrounding those. The new barrier-free codes across Canada. We have nice little design guides that tie to them all. And then we've got our webinar recordings where this video will be hosted, and you can also watch any of the previously recorded sessions. We cover a variety of topics during our ATS University. We may have something as specific as a particular product, like our PTAC Unit 1 that we did the other day, or the FIAT one that we've done today. We may cover more applications and strategies, like how to select products for airports or leak detection in general. And we even have some CEU-based sessions where we might be giving full accredited AIA or ASPE CEUs that are a little bit more generic, like the art of spec writing. We did one on sustainability, a number of different aspects like that. So lots of different ranges of topics depending on what it is you need to help you meet your PDO credits and hours. Once you've hit this login button, it'll take you into our login screen. And then after you've logged in, you'll be into the dashboard. Again, just like any other website, it's going to remember your username and password once you logged in, and you'll get a nice little information up here telling you that you're logged in successfully. Before I get too far, I did see, was there a question or chat that came up? We'll move on for now, but Once you're logged in, you'll see we have our toolbar here on the left where you have access to your projects, masters, the ATS templates, which is like an ATS master, and a quick spec. One thing I'll highlight here again, this is your account shared within your firm. So if you have uploaded your firm's masters, Zach's awesome engineering firm master for either you can build them application based, like my company's standards on multifamily, my company's standards for different school boards that we may work with, or for restaurant and retail chains that we may work with regularly. And the reason that you want to do that is it'll help you keep all the products up to date when Fiat goes and changes the model number or discontinues a product. Our system will notify all the users that have their product in a current project or master. So if you have those masters on there, you can not only keep everything up to date, but also I'll show you how you can drag and drop from that master into a project or a quick spec, which leads us to a great opportunity to explain the difference between a project and a quick spec. The quick spec from our quick actions tab here, I'm going to hit new quick spec. I'm going to just type in mop sink. Quick spec is where you have a single product or a couple of products that you just need to very quickly make a selection for. So if we're looking for a mop sink, we'll go into our sink category. We'll cover all the categories and the pinnings later, but you can see I've got our Stern-Williams one here. We can filter down by manufacturer, so we can search for Stern-Williams and Fiat and see all of our different products. We can then filter by sink type, and we can look for, say, mop sinks only or laundry sinks, anything like that. So if I'm looking for a mop sink, and we've got all these various options, we can find that molded stone MSB 2424. We can select, the faucets. We can select our panels, our hose brackets, the mop hangers that we talked about, all those standard options that, recommended during the presentation. Maybe we just need our vinyl bumper guards. And the question's always like, okay, why do I want to go to ATS spec versus just download a manufacturer's cut sheet? If you go to the manufacturer's website, you're going to be able to download a spec sheet. And the spec sheet's also available here with the spec sheet tab. It'll pop open the manufacturer's spec sheet. From there, you would then need to copy paste all the different information and make sure you are getting the correct model number, all those different options models. Whereas here, as we select an option, it updates our model number. All of that model number update is going to be carried over into your download formats. And you're going to be able to download this in any number of formats based on your needs. So again, if I've done my selection here, I'm going to rename this to MS1 instead of SK1. We autofill based on the category, but now I can go to the download button and I can download it in multiple different formats as I need. And it'll give you the updated model number, name, written description based on what you've selected. That's the main reason that you want to go and utilize the ATS system. Sure, I think it's pretty fast and easy these days. It gives you nice filters to help you select the right stuff, but mainly you are coming to get the configured model name and number. Now, as we were kind of sitting around getting ready for the session, I put together a quick little selection here. And mainly I want to show you how you can do, a really simple, quick selection here in just a matter of minutes. So first you can see we've got our Fiat Shower webinar group here. Within a project, you have the ability to have multiple product groups. Similar to what we had before, this would be our empty product group. So similar information as a quick spec, but this lives within your project. A project has an application selected, has a location selected, and that allows us to start adding our rule engine, which is going to recommend product based on the application and the location for barrier-free codes. So if I hit the add new product button here, we're again going to come to that category page where we can search for our category. So if I'm searching for sink, or you can search for a series. So we could say the Pooch and find that Pooch and Boots scrub tub. Or if you know your exact model number, if you're a a mop sink heathen, you know it's an MSB 2424 that you like. You could search for the model number and it'll pop up that way. So just like everything else, though, if I'm going to go through and do my scrolling, you could also scroll through all the various product that we have on the system. And admittedly, we have tons. We've got 1.9 million products on the system now. We've come a long way from where we were when we launched this system in 2020, and we've come a long way from when I joined with the company back in 2009. So because we have so many products on here, we have the ability to filter and pin your favorite categories. Quite often, you're going to be working on a similar set of product selections within the system. Maybe you specialize in backflow and water heaters. Maybe you have another person in your team that's specializing in the fixture selections in front of the wall, like your drinking fountains, your sinks, everything like that. You may have another person that's doing what else do we got here? Our PRVs and everything else that's available on the system. So you can pin your favorite categories, but then you can also filter. So we can sort and display by subdivision as well. So if you are looking for, the fire extinguishing systems that are on here, and you want your fire cabinets and fire extinguishers, if we want to filter by our specialty doors and frames, or plumbing equipment, or plumbing fixtures, where again, we can go and find our sinks. We could filter by, there's not going to be a barrier-free tab for your sink category, but we can go back and we can also search for our showers. So if we go into our shower category, we got our shower floors and stalls. We can refine this down to our FIAT or by any other filters that you wish to apply, like material or shape. If you're looking for that rectangular or the neo corner, so let's do a neo corner. And we've got all those different material options that we discussed during the presentation today. So we can go and make our quick selections. Let's do a copper drain connector. We'll do the white plastic construction. We don't need any of these additional options. And it's going to go add product. And we're going to build what we call our fixture chain. Fixture chains come up when there's multiple products that go together. So a mop sink might need a faucet. A shower floor is quite regularly going to be selected with a shower valve. So we could find a configured product selection here. We can go and select our water saving trim kit. We can do a polished chrome, add product, and we're off to the next step in our selection. Now, if we wanted to finish this off, we'll just select the most popular here. Now, as much as I love how quick and pretty seamless that was, we're always striving, and people are always giving this feedback like, hey, how can we get even faster? So if we go to this add drawing button, we have two options. We can add from the new drawing page, which is that category page, or we can add drawings from our masters and templates. So if you've gone through and set up your masters with your firm's preferences, you can have, if you're doing a series of hotel chains and you've got all the different product in there that apply. If you have a school board that you're working with and you've set up all the product that applies, or if you want to use our ATS templates, which is again, our versions of a master, we can go show templates for the current building type, find our recreational facility master that we've set up. We can check a box and drag the entire product group that we're within. We can switch to different product groups within this application. And we can go and select either individual or groups of fixtures. So if we want to say grab all the showers that are in here, and we'll review them to make sure they're all appropriate. We'll just check the boxes, copy the selected drawings, and drop them in to the product group. You can drop them above, below, individually as you go, however you wish to do it. And then if you need to make any changes, then you just click in and adjust. So let's say we wanted to edit this from our Stern Williams to our Fiat, because that's what we've been talking about today. We can do so. We can go find a 36 by 36 Fiat that complies with the category. We could change this to a barrier-free version if we wish. Just toggle the box and select the options that now move this from a general use to a barrier-free. And then once you're done, we'll either add another selection or hit complete. And then we come to, okay, now how do we get this information from here into our go-to-market strategy? Whether that be your firm uses a written spec in CSI or uses a PDF package, a fixture schedule, written, various types of written specs. We can download an individual file. We can download just the one product group that we've been working on, or we can download the entire package, all these multiple product groups. So if you had copied your drainage master into this, your backflow, your water heater, all your sinks and toilets, you can have them separated by different product groups and download, maybe you just need to revise the showers and re-download that. Or if you need to download the entire drainage and sinks and everything else, you can do that as well. So you would hit generate documents, and then you would select the ones that you need to download. Again, whether that be Revit, 3 different types of written specs, manufacturer spec sheet format, and I've pre-downloaded here because I see I'm already getting down to the end of my time. This would be your manufacturer spec sheet option, gives you the table of contents of what you selected, model numbers that were included, and then the selections with the manufacturer's cut sheets. Then we have our submittal format, which is the configured product selection that you've gone and made, all the multiple manufacturers on one page. Now, here's a barrier-free shower, all the components that need to make the shower barrier-free, et cetera, et cetera. We can go into our written spec. This is our CSI format, where you get a 3-part spec. You get your general, your products, and then your execution, your SH1BF. We've got our barrier-free shower selected here, all those different components. You get a nice little basis of design, and then your model number listed after. That's really the only really the biggest change in format from the long spec that we offer to the CSI is CSI follows that 3-part standard where it's description and then model name and number, whereas our long spec provides you with a model name and number and then description. So really, again, comes down to how you choose to go to market, what products are available for you. And here, if you need the Revit file, you could download the Revit for the entire package. If you needed that schedule in Excel, you could use that format. Really, again, just comes down to what formats your firm writes their specs in. And then you can copy these, put them directly into your package to go to market. And again, we have even more new features launching in the new year. We'll be sure to have a wonderful presentation that will introduce all the concepts then when those new features launch. For now, thank you very much for spending your time with us all year. For some of the names that I see on here, hopefully I assume you found great value because you keep coming back. It can't just be because you enjoy my occasional jokes and me droning on about the SpecTool. It does excite me, but I'm sure if you've seen it multiple times, it can wear on. Thank you, Richard, for your time today. It was great information.
Thank you.
I always learn something new from these presentations, so I feel like if I'm learning something, everyone must be learning something. Enjoy the holiday season for those that are celebrating. Have a great and safe, holidays, New Year, everything. And we'll see you in 2025. All the best, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.